most all round today?
Again, the desire and the energy that we put right from the beginning in the game. We're really determined and focused. Left Thursday in the past and really determined to come play well and win the game.
Because that isn't easy to do, is it? They're human beings at the end of the day.
Absolutely, and after playing 120 minutes, you have to come back here and do it again against a team that obviously they have a lot of needs. They haven't got the results, but they've been really tough to win the last 2 games, and we're really dominant and decided to win the game.
And clinical in front of goal. I mean, the Martinelli finish just set you on your way, didn't it?
Yes, we had a few moments before that, and we were lacking that final pass. But I think today, especially in the box, when we had those openings, we defined the game in the right way.
And him in particular, I mean, he's produced moments like that for you throughout the season. That individual quality has so often been the difference.
That's right, and the reaction that he had after missing a penalty. There's always a question mark there, but he showed. I asked him yesterday how it was, and I want to win the team. I want to do it again, and that's what we won.
2 more goals for Saka as well.
Great, and he wants more, and he was disappointed not to be with a hat-trick, and that's what we need. We need our front players firing, making the difference, and today they did again.
And the control of the game you had as well must have pleased you.
Yes, because it's a tricky opponent. They are really well organized. They don't concede much. The games that they lost is for a margin of a goal, and then they have threat up front. They have the individual quality in the first action. Saha puts the ball in the post, and the game can change. That's the reality. And we had to control that well, and I think we did it.
I know you're a perfectionist. I guess the only downside is the goal you conceded.
Yeah, not happy with that. Again, we concede from a set play, and we need to improve there.
Anyway, 4 goals, 8 points clear. How nice a feeling is that going into the international break?
Yeah, it's very good, especially the way we played in the last few weeks and the results that we picked. And now, unfortunately, we have to stop, get the players into international duties, and make sure everybody comes back with the same mindset and ready to go.
And to pick up that momentum, 6 league wins in a row now.
Yeah, which is really difficult to do in this league, and I think we deserve them, and we need to continue. You know that it is going to be a really long ride.
So just finally, in your words, you've got 10 more cup finals, but psychologically, just to do that to City today?
No, we've got the next one. We've got Leeds next, and that's it, and we put the clock there and all the focus there.
Nothing changes. Well done.
Thank you.
Always concentrate on that next game. Don't look too far ahead. That mantra still in force in North London, despite that 8-point advantage as far as Arsenal are concerned, having played just that 1 game more than Manchester City. And talking of City, it was after that defeat to Pep Guardiola's men that's prompted this 6-game winning run. What a reaction from Arsenal as a result, man.
I remember when they lost away at Everton as well. It was a difficult moment, so good reaction. Altogether, you can see the unity and the anger from this team, So the great desire. He said that probably the last few games after the game, Arteta, and I agree with him. You can see that every time they score a goal, they hold together, the unity, I saw that when they were dropped against Sporting, the unity, they lost at the end on penalty.
Yeah.
But you could see that you cannot win titles if you don't have this unity into the team, the desire altogether.
Yeah, and it doesn't alter their game plan, because in those 6 wins since the City defeat, Michael, they've scored 19 goals.
They're just a seriously good team with lots of different components that make them good. Great players, pace, goal-scoring ability, unity, togetherness, a backing from the fans that feels different than it's ever done before. It's just a place, a club that feels like it's bubbling up nicely, and if they go and win the biggest prize of them all, then of course they're going to fully deserve it, because the improvement in this team from last year is quite staggering. A lot of people thought, Arsenal are on the way back up. They might get Champions League this year or something like that. I mean, it's staggering the improvement that they've had this season.
Mentally as well. Look at Saka, 2 or 3 years ago, he was probably out of the club.
Yeah.
Divorced from with the fans. Now he's back, and look at the communion, with the fans after he scored a goal again today. Look at Martinelli when he missed the penalty a few days ago, and the mental strength. That, again, I repeat myself, but I'm pretty sure this is very important when you want to win something. Unity is important, but mental strength, to support the pressure from Manchester City, especially when they will play against them in a few weeks' time. But I could see the improvement from last year. I remember last season when they lost against Tottenham. Remember It was, what, 6 or 7 games to go at the end of the season. We're talking about Champions League position, and they were killed away, 3-1 month in space of 1 year. It's amazing.
Is it easier to have that mental strength the younger you are to shrug off the disappointments as opposed to being a more experienced campaigner?
Well, I mean, they're both linked, but I think that doesn't matter if you're young or not. I mean, for me, the main question is, can you handle the situation? Can you improve yourself when you go through nightmares or terrible situations? This is, for me, the most important.
Michael?
Yeah, well, there's two ways of looking at it, isn't it? There's always these youngsters have not really had any battle scars.
From previous years, yeah.
So mentally they're quite free of that. Whereas the older players, they can understand more that you have ups and you have downs in your career, and you can compute that a little bit better and understand it a little bit better. And then once you can understand it, you can help the youngsters with that as well. So I think what is key is to have a mixture of them both, to have some old heads, to have some winners in the dressing room. They added that at the start of the season. A couple of winners into the dressing room, and we all can see how good some of the young players are.
Yeah, well, the chemistry seems just about right. We're taking into note, of course, that they've won the last 6 in the Premier League. When they pick up the baton after the international break, this is what Arsenal have got to look forward to before they take on Manchester City. So Leeds at home, Liverpool away, West Ham away, and Southampton at home before the big one at the Etihad Stadium. What do you think, Manu? On the face of it, it doesn't look like the worst set of fixtures. Liverpool
If I am actually in the dressing room, I will follow what Arteta just said at the end of the game. Don't be focused on Manchester City away game, because before that we have 4 games to play. So every single point will be important. What's the meaning if you go away and you win at Manchester City, and if you lose against Southampton or West Ham?
Yeah, Michael, is he right? Don't be too focused on what's far down the line?
As a player and as a manager, yes, but we're fans. We're looking at that, and I'm trying to pick points from each of the games.
That's not your job, Manu. Come on.
But I must say that, I mean, looking ahead, if they go and win the next 4 games before they even get to Manchester City, if they get 12 points out of 12, they're going to remain, of course, the 8 points ahead that they currently are. Then Manchester City will have one hell of a job to try to claw 8 points back in the last half dozen games. So, first things first is Leeds at home, and I'd fancy them to win
and
that
they
one.
only have the Premier League to play, Arsenal. Yeah. When Manchester City have to play Champions League, FA Cup, every single 3 days.
Yeah, but Liverpool have a big say as to what happens, of course, yet to face both of those sides.
They will. They'll have a massive say, but I think Manu is right in terms of Manchester City. You've got lots of things spinning in their head at the moment, 3 different competitions, whereas Arsenal, every game, 10 games, cup finals.
Yeah. You talk about players not looking too far ahead, like Mikel Arteta. But if you're in that dressing room, surely you'd want to see where perhaps these points are going to come from, where you might drop points.
This is, for me, the worst things to do. It would be a mistake.
So you've never done that?
No, never. Never. If you want to win, if you're fighting for titles, and we are talking the last weeks of the season, so don't be focused on one game. Every single game is very important. I remember when we were 12 or 13 points behind Manchester United in 1997 season, and we knew that we had 3 games in hand. If we could win those games, we will play the final against Manchester United away at Old Trafford. This is exactly what happened. But before that, we all knew that we had to win those games before thinking about Manchester United.
Yeah. Okay.
Easier said than done.
I was just going to say exactly the same thing. But the temptation is clearly there to have a look.
I know.
For Mikel Arteta now, of course, when you're a team, you've got players going across all sorts of places on international duty. Those fingers are going to be crossed now, aren't they, that they come back in one piece?
This is his worst possible nightmare now. He's lending the associations his players and hoping they come back in one piece for a final big push for obviously, as I say, the biggest prize. So he will be very nervous. I mean, everyone will think, oh, he's got 10 days, 2 weeks off now to have a little chill out.
No injuries.
No, but he'll be looking at he'll be on the phone to them all after every training session. Are you still okay? But no, that's a problem, and that's that's always been written in stone before the season starts. So he'll understand that. But no, it's just cross your fingers and pray now.
Yeah. Okay. Saka, who, it always stuns me, really. He comes across very different to the type of player he is on the pitch.
He's so humble. He looks so shy, outside the pitch, but so explosive and so mature on the pitch. So it's a different world when you see him on and off the pitch. But for me, I think we all agree, I'm a big fan of him. A big fan of him.
Yeah.
How good has he been in the context of the other Premier League sides this year? Apart from a certain number 9 at Manchester City, would he be in the conversation for Player of the Year?
100% in the conversation, yeah. I mean, it looks like Haaland, that number 9 that you were talking about, is going to break virtually every record that's ever been set in terms of goal scoring in the Premier League this season. But when you're talking about having a conversation of other players, then Saka's definitely right up there.
Yeah. OK, from Saka to Xhaka. Let's have a look at the goal that essentially sealed this contest from Arsenal's perspective.
Yeah, it was a good goal as well. I'm looking forward to picking Manu's brains with this one. It was Xhaka, as you say, that scored the goal. He was part of the build-up as well.
Yes.
And this was the goal that really sealed the deal at 3-0.
I really love the beginning of the action, you know, the way they switch, you know, the position. At the beginning, Zinchenko gave the ball to Saka, he was midfield, and then they switched. Then he became a left back, and then all of a sudden he went back to his position, natural position, Saka in midfield, and Zinchenko gave it the ball. So those two guys created, you know, in 3 passes, 3 different positions, the occasion to score. Yeah. And poor reading again by the Crystal Palace, poor defending, no communications, no reading of the game. So it was easy for them, but you could see that what Arteta wants, you know, switching position all the time, trying to be able to play in different position all the time.
Yeah, we'll have another angle on that as well, Manish. But I just think these high wide players for Arsenal, we have touched on it before, but they give these players here this problem. Do they go here? Do they turn around and go in? And once we look at it quite slowly, it's that combination play, that nervousness, that they just unsettle defenders with the high positions, and then you've got players running in. And I really particularly like this different angle, because this is where we can have a look at it more on the tactical angle. Let's just pick up a couple of players here. This is Xhaka, and this is Zinchenko coming into the picture. And I just like the way he almost fills Xhaka's position for him. We have a little bit of rotation, but just keep your eye on both of those players. Here comes Zinchenko into that position, and he actually goes in front of Xhaka, and all of a sudden you've got the left back in a forward position, and there's a rotation, exactly. And look at that rotation again, and all of a sudden this guy here, he's moved away from Martinelli. He thinks, uh-oh, he's the most dangerous position. But then he's almost looking at his partner, Tompkins, and thinking, right, I've got to get back out into my man here. Are you going to help me? But he's not, because he's picking up here. And just have a look at that confusion. Right back pops back out. Tompkins unsure, and all of a sudden he's got goal side of him, and he can never recover from there.
They only focus on the ball. They are not focused on the movement of the opponents, Crystal Palace defenders. And that was the case during the whole game, you know. They only focus on the ball. When you look at the goal they conceded, they were more than players than Arsenal, but they were only focused on the ball, never focus on the movement of the opponent.
Yeah, we can have another look at that.
Yeah, it's great. But let's point out as well, it's the Arsenal rotation that provokes that lack of focus, that misunderstanding. It gives people problems what to do. And when it's happening quickly, then it's very, very difficult to defend. So yes, we can pick holes in it, but Arsenal are contributing to the fact that they're confusing every defence that they play at the moment. It's
fantastic testament, of course, to the process to which Mikel Arteta has often alluded to in his 3 years. Let's have a look at 4-1. We've already had a glimpse of it. Bukayo Saka's second. It's the first-time finish, really, to a player that really has got every bow in his armour, right? I think so. I think I'm particularly interested and impressed with this finish, because the ball actually comes quite quickly at him. Normally that's a softer pass to hit it first time. So as it comes across, I'm thinking he's going to take a touch. And to be able to keep that one down when the ball is flying at him so fast, I think it was a fantastic finish.
Yes, and I think that's going to be good for the TNA confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Let's have a look at it in a little bit more detail, Manu. Again, Arsenal probing, provoking around the edge of the box. Tierney in all this space down here. But we get to a stage whereby he gets the ball and he's got a couple of options where to cross it.
They're so confused, you know, Crystal Palace, by the movement of Arsenal players.
Yeah. What are his options here? We've got a cross maybe in here.
Yes, probably, yeah. He could have done that, yeah.
You just think to yourself,
But he lifts his head.
have you exactly? Have you got the vision to be able to do that? I do as well. Just want to pause it there because this play in here. Just take a look at him. Gabriel Jesus, yeah.
I think
he's the one offside, in an offside
if you follow
position.
the rules,
Absolutely.
it was just in front of the goalkeeper. Though for me, this goal should not be allowed.
You don't think it should have been?
No.
And I only mention it, Manish, because this is the angle that shows whether he's in the line of vision of the goalkeeper or not. And when he strikes it there, I think it's very hard to say that he's not. And I'm surprised. I'm
The
sure you
rules,
are
the
as
rules,
well.
no, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised that one was given. But hey, it didn't affect the result at the end of the game. It was always going to be 3 points for Arsenal.
Yeah. Was that as comfortable a victory as you could have hoped for from an Arsenal's perspective? Because when you heard that Saliba was injured, Holding
Yeah,
was
I
coming
was
in,
not
you were a
very
bit
confident
tentative.
with Rob Holding. He did a good game, a decent game. But on top of it, Crystal Palace were not very dangerous. They were in danger the first 5 minutes of both halves. But afterwards, it was, this is it. I think there were no reaction. What is the point of sacking a manager 2 days ago? And then when you look at the reaction and when you look at the behavior of players, look at that on the replay. They're all looking at their shoe. There is no communication between them. There is no fighting, springing back, on the pitch. So I was expecting something different, especially for a team that's fighting against relegation.
Yeah. Do you agree, Michael?
Yeah, listen. There's put it this way. There's no improvement since Vieira was sacked. And as I said before the game, I'm very, very surprised. I don't think that. In fact, I can't remember a game that conceded 4 goals in recent times.
Yeah. Just over 2 months ago, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And I never saw Patrick Vieira teams getting beaten badly like they did today.
Yeah. OK, and it leaves Crystal Palace still looking for their first league win of 2023. So what's the mood like in the Palace dressing room after today's defeat at Arsenal? Let's get some post-match reaction from Luka Milivojevic.
Has reacted to Patrick Vieira's departure?
It's never easy, especially when you change during the season the manager. But we are professionals. We need to accept the situation. We need to fight for this football club. We need to do everything that we got to stay in the Premier League.
What is the mood like in the dressing room?
It's never easy. If you ask me just at the moment after the game, it's of course is not nice because we lost the game, but as well we need to look the game in a real way. We need to see chances that we create, goals that we concede, what we should avoid, what we should done better, and that's what we're gonna do. At the moment it's not nice, but now we have a break and we're gonna work hard to come back.
Working under Paddy McCarthy at the moment, how well do you know him, and is the feeling that the sooner a replacement comes in, the better?
I need really give him a credit for what he done in last couple of days. They've been brilliant. They did an amazing job. They tried to, I will say, to give us new energy, and they really been very detailed. And you know what? I think it's very good for one football club to have people like Paddy and Paulie, and thanks them to taking us in last 3 days, and we will see what's going to happen, but they do their best, and just thank you for them, and of course thank you for our supporters for support that we had during the game. We do our best, and I'm sure after this break we're going to back on track 100%.
Pretty deflated, understandably so, considering Palace's form. But he spoke about Paddy McCarthy, Michael, putting in an amazing amount of work this week. What did you make of that use of the word amazing? I mean, should that be put in, in comparison to what he's had before?
Listen, you've just been beaten 4-1. You've lost your manager a couple of days ago. It's not an easy situation. You're the captain. You've got to come out and speak. And I thought he spoke well. He thanked the fans. He thanked the staff. But he also said after the international break, then he expects them to bounce back. Well, talk is cheap, as we all know. But what else can he say in that situation? It's a bit of a mess, I think, at Crystal Palace, and I feel it's their own doing, which is the strange thing. As I say, strange to let Patrick Vieira go. I didn't see them going down. They're obviously in trouble, but I still feel that they have enough. But it just feels like they're in a bit more of a mess than they were, only a few days ago.
Yeah. Michael thinks they've got enough. Do you? To stay up?
Well, we'll see that in the future. They're going to play against teams that are fighting as well against relegation. So we will see if they can show unity all together, because as he said something very important. They're going to have to analyze what they've done wrong, especially defensively when they conceded goal. And I think there is a lot of things to say here.
Yeah.
Bowling point of view, welcome to Selhurst Park in South London. I'm Derek Ray, and joining me in the commentary position is the former England defender Lee Dixon. And it's all about action from the Premier League in this case. It's Crystal Palace versus Arsenal.
Well, I'm excited about this one. Great atmosphere in here. Everybody looking forward to this game, especially me and you.
Benteke. Good tackle. Here are the starters for Arsenal. Thomas Partey starts with Granit Xhaka in the centre of the pitch. And getting the vote of confidence in attack today, Alexandre Lacazette. Martin Ødegaard. Well, he could run onto it here. He's in with a chance.
Well, that you start looking behind you. Who's on the cover?
Cahill. Kouyaté. Lacazette. Making progress. Oh, that pass easy on the eye. Can he put it in? Oh, that was a terrific... So the corner played into the box. Well, it all counts for naught. Hector Bellerin. Lacazette. Oh, nice ball over the top. Cutting infield here. Throw-ins given. Benteke. In with a chance. And there it is, the opening goal, 1-0, and they'll feel they deserve it.
Well, as we look at this again, the keeper's every right to ask where his back line was, but 2v1 in the end. He's thinking now, is he going to pass or go round me? He's got no chance.